Okay, it is officially day one of me starting Accutane. I don't know why I sound so excited. I have a mix of nerves and excitement. I'm obviously excited because this is my face right now, and I know Accutane is like the closest thing to a cure, so I'm excited to hopefully have my face clear up, but it's very nerve-wracking at the same time. But I want to make a video kind of documenting my experience, so we're gonna start it out by showing my face. This is the package it comes in. I'm doing 40 milligrams. It said to take it once a day. So this is what it looks like, 10 capsules. Oh my God. This is what it looks like on the inside. They really did not want you to get pregnant. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Just a little orange pill. Good morning. So it is about, I think it's day 5. Yesterday I had the worst headache ever. It's just in like the front of my head, and I like thought maybe it was because I wasn't drinking water, but then like I'd had 120 ounces and it just like still hurt. But like when I was trying to fall asleep, I literally like couldn't go to bed because it was just like hurt so bad, and I don't have any like medicine here because it's at my apartment. I don't know why I just like didn't buy any Tylenol or ibuprofen or, well, I don't really know you can take for it. Like I honestly like never take medicine like that, so. And like I woke up this morning and it's still like sore. It's not as pounding as it was last night, but it's like more in like the back of my head and like here. And that like got me freaked out because they say like headaches can be a sign of this like condition where it's like pressure on your brain. But then I also read something that say like a few headaches like during the first like few weeks of treatment are normal. I don't know, it's just very miserable. It hurts, like it's the worst. It looks like, you know, this, it's kind of like the skin's peeling off and like, and this is all coming to the surface. And same with like my forehead. So I think it might be working. Bloody noses are a real thing that happen on Accutane. I haven't had a bloody nose for solid probably like 8 to 10 years. I'm not even kidding you. And I just got one last night, a really bad one, and I am kind of having one this morning. So be warned. Hey everyone, it's Kiersten. Welcome back to my channel. So this is another big sister talk episode where each week, every few weeks, whatever, I discuss an advice video. And acne is obviously such a normal part of life, and yet we don't normalize it. We make people feel bad if they have acne. We make people feel weird and uncomfortable if they have acne that they literally cannot control on their face. So I really want to open up this conversation. I think Accutane, yeah, it's maybe talked about, but I think it's really misunderstood by a lot of people, and I think that it's a lot more serious of a medicine than I think it's put out to be. So whatever, anyways, I'm just gonna start by jumping into the video. Please make sure to like this video, comment below any suggestions you have, things you want me to talk about, any questions, subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So today's video is one I've been wanting to make for a little while. I wanted to space out my 2 videos. If you haven't seen my other video on my channel talking about my whole like acne journey from like the start in October to now, go check that out. But I wanted to make a whole separate video talking about Accutane specifically. Accutane is interesting to say the least, and I thought it deserved a whole video devoted to it. So in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my experience with it, how I got started on it, what that's like, especially if you're a female. I'm gonna be talking about the symptoms that I had on the medication, my favorite product, and kind of an overview of like, was it worth it? Would I do it again? Whatever, all that. And obviously my skin looks a lot different. I am wearing like foundation right now and bronzer and stuff, but you can tell like I definitely have hyperpigmentation. In my other video, I'm not wearing makeup at all, so you can kind of see, but my hyperpigmentation, it's slowly fading as it does, so that's exciting. I started on Accutane as kind of a last resort scenario. I had a really kind of random breakout, and it was just getting out of control, and it basically cost me like my whole self-confidence for a while there, and I just was willing to try anything. So I remember I started a new dermatologist in DC, and my first visit with him, he, you know, told me I had basically 2 options. He didn't really like see pictures of my skin before. He didn't really know like my full story. So he just looked at my skin and basically told me based off of the severity of my acne, based off the severity of my acne, I had 2 options. One was this other like oral medication called like spironolactone, I have no idea how to pronounce it, or Accutane. So I'm just gonna give a brief synopsis of actually how you start Accutane. So I thought you just went in and you just get prescribed the medication and you go and take it. No, that is not the case at all. So the first day I decided I wanted to take Accutane. The dermatologist is like, okay, we'll get you all set up. He left the room and I was left with a nurse who then for like 30-40 minutes described to me what was about to occur for the next 6 months of my life. That day they had me go and take a pregnancy test at the clinic. Accutane is an extremely like regulated drug by the government because they found out that pregnant women that were taking this drug, the fetus had like extreme deformities when it was being born, and so they are very strict about preventing pregnancy on Accutane. So you basically, if you're a female, have to prove that you are not pregnant. And so that day, like I said, I had to take a pregnancy test. Then they sat down and told me I had to sign like a bunch of waivers. I had to read through the pamphlets. They showed me, you know, how dangerous this drug can be. They told me a lot about the symptoms, the side effects. But he, you know, basically said it's not as scary as you think it's gonna be. It's gonna be fine. I've put a lot of people on this medication and everyone's been fine. Like, don't stress about it too much. You know, some of those cases, yeah, stuff happens, but like every, you know, medication has random cases like that where things go wrong. And like I said, at that point, I was extremely desperate to get started and to be put on this medication, have anything to get my acne to go away. So I said yes. So then you actually have to wait 30 days after the first pregnancy test to then get another pregnancy test and get your blood work done to check, I'm guessing like liver levels and everything, because Accutane's extremely like hard on your liver. So it's a whole like month process before you can even start the medication, which I had no idea about. I wish someone had told me. And yeah, you get this whole iPledge packet after the first 30 days and you get your test results back. Your test results then get sent to the dermatologist and they input it on this iPledge program. And then you have to go in and answer questions on iPledge. And then only after that, you can go to the pharmacy and pick up your medication. I made the mistake once of not answering the questions and I went to the pharmacy and they're like, we cannot give you your medication. I think my phone was dead, so like I couldn't even pick up my medication that day. So just make sure, like set a reminder on your phone or whatever, that if you are starting Accutane to do your questions. iPledge program is just, it's kind of a pain, I'll just be honest. So yeah, like I said, you get this packet, you get a user login, it's just like a bunch of codes, so it's not even like it's easy to remember. And then you basically go on, you have to like answer questions about basically not to get pregnant, and I had to confirm 2 forms of birth control that I was like basically pledging to use. So like they have to. So if you're not on birth control, you have to then go to a gynecologist or your doctor and get put on birth control before you can even be put on Accutane. So like if you aren't on birth control, you have to go either get the pill, get an IUD, get I think whatever's in your arm, whatever it may be, you have to go and get that done before even getting started on the medication. So like there's so much with it that you don't even realize, and it's kind of really stupid, but they really don't want you getting pregnant. And so I don't really know what it's like for guys, this is just my experience, but yeah, they're like extremely strict about it. So then after you get your medication, you go home and there's all these instructions and they have all these pictures like of pregnant women with like an X through it, like they do not want you getting pregnant. And then you basically just start taking the medication. So when I started out my first month, I was on 40 milligram tablets. So that's just one tablet or 1 pill. And I just took that every night after dinner. You really want to take it with a fatty meal, the fattiest meal that you have. It just makes it easier to digest. Obviously, it's extremely like harsh drug, and you want to make sure that you're taking it with fat heavy foods. A lot of people I've researched have taken it with fish oil pills, but I never found that necessary. I didn't have really much of an issue just taking it with my big dinner. I've heard a lot of people, if they take it in the morning, you can get nauseous, so that's why I took it at night. I thought it was just the easiest for my schedule. I would say like my dermatologist kind of downplayed the whole like Accutane, how serious it is. Like it is extremely heavy on your liver, like I said, and your body. It's basically working to attack all like the 3 or 4 sources of acne. So it's like working all of those at the same time. And so that's why it's extremely powerful and people call it the miracle drug. But you have to realize that like that is gonna kind of wreak havoc on your body a little bit. So it's definitely, you know, not a decision to take lightly, not trying to scare people away, but I don't think that, you know, dermatologists give it enough credit into how kind of challenging it can be on the medication. You know, I just want to preface with saying I was only on Accutane for actually 2 months. So that's the other thing about Accutane, is since it is extremely regulated, it is like a really big pain. Every month you basically have to go get your blood work done, go check in with your dermatologist, go answer your iPledge questions, and then you can go pick up your medication. So it's like a big process every month, and people do it between like 6 to 9 months is the usual length of a treatment. So it's definitely like a long process and it's a big commitment. Another thing you should be very cautious of, especially if you're a college student, is to not move in the middle of your course. So this is what happened to me. So I was supposed to be on Accutane for 6 months. I was only on Accutane for 2 months, which, like, thank goodness you know, the drug worked miracles for me and my skin reacted very well to it, and it was very effective for me. After my 2nd month, I was supposed to go to get my blood work done, which I actually did twice, and I got it sent to my dermatologist, and I expected to just be able to call over the phone or do like a Zoom or something. I was in Maine for 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm going to Washington, like, can I just transfer it over? Can we just like do a Zoom? All you have to do is prescribe the medication, so I was just gonna switch over to a Walgreens here. He was like, no, we cannot do telemedicine calls for Accutane. And I was so confused. I ended up going to a dermatologist here, but by that point it'd been like 2 weeks since I'd taken my last pill, and he said it was too late and I was already out of the iPledge program. So I basically like had to stop treatment. At that point, I would have had to start completely over, which is just not something I'm looking to do. It's just kind of wild. So if you're in a place where you're gonna be moving around a lot, I do not recommend this medication for you. It was not explained to me that I would not be able to do telemedicine or that this could easily be transferred over, because I would have never agreed to do it because there was a high possibility I wasn't gonna be in DC. So it's just something to be cautious of, something they don't tell you. I don't know, some dermatologists might be different, but I talked to 3 dermatologists who were unwilling to do telemedicine with me for my Accutane. So just be cautious of that because I don't want it to happen to any of you. All right, to transition, next I would like to discuss my side effects on Accutane. This was definitely the hardest part of the medication, and it's something everyone has really different reactions to, but I'm just gonna talk about my experience. So I would say I feel like I noticed like my first side effect maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks after I started the medication. It wasn't right off, which I was really surprised about. Like I thought immediately I was gonna have an issue. I don't know, like a weekend or something, I had the worst migraine I've ever had. I don't have headaches, knock on wood. I remember there was a night where it was like all day I was like in like pain. My head hurt so bad, it hurt to fall asleep. I did not have any like medicine where I was living because I was just like in my apartment, and it was like late at night and I had no idea what to do. It was like so painful. So I remember that. I definitely think that was a symptom of Accutane. I was drinking a lot of water. I actually got this water tracking app. I can put a screenshot here. It's called My Water, I think. And I was doing that for a while just during Accutane because it's super important to minimize side effects by drinking a ton of water because it's drying out your skin completely. That's like what it's doing. It's just like drying out all your pores. That's how it works so effectively at getting rid of pimples. But obviously that has a lot of harsh side effects, especially when it comes to like headaches. The other symptom I had was obviously just like dry skin. My lips got super dry. My face got dry and scaly in parts and was like super red. And my hands got really dry actually. I remember I had like a rash on my like the back of my hands, like small bumps. I had read about that and then it started happening to me, kind of like an eczema or something. But by far the worst symptom that I had was back pain. And when I say back pain, like, I mean the worst, most excruciating pain ever. Like, I work out a lot. If you follow me on my channel, you know that. And I would do like squats, for example, in the gym. And I would, you know, be okay doing the squats, and I would take the bar off of my back. And I'm not even kidding you, for 45 seconds to a minute at least after each like set I did, it felt like someone was taking their hands and like ripping my back apart. It was awful. And I thought I injured my back in the gym or something. Like, I had no idea. But it was around 2 or 3 weeks after I started the medication, and I did a ton of research, and I could not find anything about upper back pain issues for anyone. Some people had said lower back pain or whatever, but it was seriously the worst thing ever, and it just so happened to start at the same time as Accutane, so I definitely think it was a part of that, and I haven't experienced any back issues since. So it lasted for like at least 3 weeks, and I ended up going to a chiropractor and like getting x-rays done and all of that. Like, it was really, really bad pain, and I told my dermatologist about it, and he said that is like a normal side effect, which is really unfortunate because it was really, really painful. So it's just something to be mindful of. I know like muscle joint soreness is a really common side effect, and I think it affects everyone a little bit different, but that's just something to consider, especially if you're super into fitness and working out. It does, you know, kind of throw your body into a little bit of chaos. And so if you're serious about, you know, sports and athletics, I would just, you know, definitely take some time to really consider this as an option. Even like medicine really did not help. Like, it was terrible, so I had to take it easy for a while. But other than that, I think that was really the only like symptoms I had, which I think I'm pretty fortunate about. I know there's a lot of talk about like depression and anxiety on the medication, and I'll be upfront and say I deal a lot with like anxiety in my life. I always have, and it's something I've improved a lot this year. I've really made great strides with my mental health, and I was really nervous going onto this medication how it was going to impact me, but I'm really fortunate to say that it didn't really impact me. If anything, it made me a lot happier because my skin was clearing up, and that was the best feeling ever. That was really all I wanted at the time. And for me, it just did the opposite. It improved my mental health. It made me feel a lot better. There are stories of people who have experienced poor mental health on the medication, and it's definitely something you take really seriously. So before you get started, make sure to inform your close family members and friends. I did that. I actually remember having conversations with some of my close friends at the time, just giving them a heads up, like, you know, I really would appreciate having a support system there for me right now. I just don't know how this medication is going to affect me, and I would just really appreciate to know that I can go to you if I'm ever feeling upset or sad or whatever. And I'm really fortunate that I have those people in my life, and I really recommend at least trying to do the same so that you're not, you know, going through this whole journey and experience alone, because it is kind of scary. Just making sure you have people like that is super, super helpful. All right, and then for the third part of this episode, I want to go into some of my favorite products that I used while on Accutane that really, really helped in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab those. All right, so first up, this is the cleanser I use, the CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser. I still use it. I love it. It has hyaluronic acid in it, which is super, super good for your skin, and it's super lightweight and just makes my skin feel really clean and clear. So it looks like dermatologist recommended it to me, so that's what I use, and I'm gonna stick with it. For moisturizer, I use the CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotion PM. I actually use it morning and night just because I think it's a little bit heavier, and on Accutane you need as much moisture as you can get, so I recommend that. For my lips, I use a lot of Aquaphor. I have these like on the go ones. You can get these at Target. If it'll focus. So you can get these at Target, and I just like carried them in my bag. They come in packs of 2, and I also got like the actual Aquaphor tubes, and I would just use these like literally at least every hour. Like, I was constantly putting them on my lips at all times, and yeah, it was super helpful. I love Aquaphor. Doesn't dry your lips out. Feels really, really good. Your skin is gonna be so sensitive to the sun on Accutane. Like, seriously, I went to a picnic with my friends, and I got so sunburned. I'll like see if I have a picture somewhere. I'll put it here, because it was so bad. It made me so sensitive to the sun, and by the time like June came around, I was like kind of tan, for me at least. But it's so important to wear sunscreen and protect your skin as much as you can. It's actually like so bad for your skin to get sunburned. I know like so many people are like, oh, the sun makes my skin look so much better, but A, that leads to premature aging, so wrinkles, and B, that makes your hyperpigmentation way, way worse. So my dermatologist actually told me once, he's like, no matter what treatment I give you, if you're not using sunscreen, there's actually like no point in doing any of this because it's just gonna like strip away anything that any medication I give you could do. So yeah, that's to warn you, you should be wearing sunscreen every day, not just in the summer, because you just never know what's gonna happen. So this is my favorite sunscreen. I've been using this for a while now. So it's the Ulta MD Tinted Sunscreen SPF 46, which is super high SPF. And it just like feels like butter on your skin. I've had no issues with, you know, like breaking out because of it, knock on wood. It's oil free and you get it off dermstore.com. I'll like link all of these products below for you guys. But yeah, I actually just ran out of this yesterday, but it lasts me like 5 months. So it is a little bit pricier, but I mean, it's a really high quality product and it lasts me a really, really long time. And a lot of zinc oxide sunscreens leave like a white cast on your skin and this doesn't at all. So it's just like kind of a BB cream. So super helpful, recommend that one a lot. And then I found this Aveeno moisturizer for like after the shower and everything because it's super important. For the first 60 seconds after you get out of the shower, your skin like absorbs any moisturizer like way better. So if I jump out of the shower, I'm immediately putting on this facial cream and I'm putting this on my body, especially on Accutane. I was like so serious about that because your body just needs it. So make sure that you're getting a nice fragrance-free, lightweight moisturizer like this. It doesn't smell that great because it's literally fragrance-free, but it's really good for your skin. And I also use, I don't have it with me right now, I left it at school, but for my hands, I was using CeraVe, just like their moisturizing cream. It's like the big tub of it, and I didn't want to carry it on the plane. So yeah, I use that for my hands as well. But for the holy grail of products, you guys need to go buy this from Sephora. I recommended this to my friend who started Accutane, and he said it's been helping him a lot. It is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. So here's what it looks like, and if you open it, and the inside. So I bought this in March and I've only used that much. So yeah, you get your money's worth for it. I don't even think it's too expensive. I don't know. I actually got this at TJ Maxx. I found it when I was looking for it. I was gonna go to Sephora and I found this one at TJ Maxx and it was like $10 cheaper and I was like, perfect, I'm getting that one. Yeah, it literally, if you have really dry lips at night and you put this on in the morning, they'll be smooth, I swear. Like this was the thing that worked the best for me. And I think I saw it on like the Reddit thread or something and I decided to try it out and I totally recommend it. If you can only get one product, get this product, it's amazing. You can get a Sephora, Ulta, I think, and I don't know, maybe you'll get lucky and find it at TJ Maxx like I did. And I still use it every night just because it's super great for your lips. So I know that was a ton of information I just threw at you and I hope I didn't leave anything out. It's seriously like something you could talk and talk and talk about. It was definitely a really interesting experience. Do I regret doing it? Absolutely not. It cleared my skin. Even with the back pain that I experienced and how, you know, rough it was with the whole protocols and everything, getting my blood work done and all of that, like I don't regret doing it. My skin is clear and I would recommend it, but you know, just going to say like everyone has such different experiences and just be cautious going into it and make sure that you're preparing enough with buying the right products, knowing that it's going to take a month to go in if you're a female, and just knowing it's, you know, a little bit more complicated than the dermatologist will make you think, at least for, you know, with my experience. But out of everything, like it saved my skin and it helped my self-confidence so much, even in just 2 months. And I just think, you know, overall, it was definitely a worthwhile experience. If you guys have more specific questions, please just leave them in the comments. I literally like go through and answer them all with as much detail as I can think. So yeah, just, you know, feel free. Also, you can DM me on Instagram. You know, just feel free to ask me any questions. And if you have any other video topics you'd like me to talk about, yeah, just let me know in the comments, DM me, whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my little channel. I appreciate it so much. Make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye!